still trying to figure out the audio. I rebooted the device, and now we're seeing if you can actually hear what I'm saying, which is kind of annoying because I got work to do. So let's see. My hair looks good today too. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. All right. All right. Had to reboot the phone. All right. Reboot the phone. Where was it? Okay, now I got one person here. Cool. Hey, sorry about that, everybody. Nice. Nice, Dawn. Hey, you guys in chat, just confirm you can hear me okay. As I started to say, this was just supposed to be a nice, peaceful hangout, and suddenly it became stressful. try to get my work done, man. Crazy. Nice. All right, cool. All right, so we're doing clipper blades today. Sorry for all the hassle, guys. It was more hassle for me. Yeah. Got a pretty good phone. Samsung. And no audio. There's a mute setting on the microphone, but there is no, it's not like a computer. So what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning these off. Getting all the pet dander out of there. For sure, you could wash them and clean them. This one feels all greasy. I love it when they try to oil them right before they send them to you. It's just like brushing your teeth extra hard before you go for your cleaning at the dentist. Okay, so I got these all cleaned up. What I think we're going to do is stand by, you guys. I'm going to shorten the whole thing. There's our big red. I'm going to take you guys and put you over here by the laser. There we go. And then point you down there. Cool. Maybe come up just a little bit. There we go. Cool. We just relocated everything, so I kind of gotta get it all reorganized. I got an idea. It's kind of crazy. What about Don? I'll let you determine that. I can say with some level of damn it. trying to think how to say it. Let's get this stuck in the wall here. There we go. So, if you're talking about money per minute, I think knives are the easiest and the most profitable. I know scissor guys. And then the next thing down would be hair scissors or grooming scissors. And then the third thing down would be clippers. There's just no two ways about it, really. It's going to be I just got to get these tightened in place. Right here, lock these in. The problem I have is they're fairly tedious to do. And I spent years of my life taking things apart and putting them back together as a professional electronic repairman, electromechanical repairman, and I hate it. Sorry. Not sorry. Can I do it? Sure. Can I do it quick? Sure. I've got all the equipment, I've got all the training, I've got all the thing. But here's a great discussion to have with some friends is when you do something that you don't love, how painful is it? I know guys that love working on cars. I don't love working on cars. You know, your heart's got to be in it. I mean, you can do it. Shit, we all do. We're all grown guys. We all do stuff we don't want to do. But how much harder is it to do something you don't want to do versus something that you enjoy doing? I'm just gonna prep my plate. Start fresh. We kind of did a full remodel, kind of did everything, renewed everything. Rearranged is what I'm trying to say. So, to me, they're a hassle, and they're not nearly as profitable. Are they still good money? Sure. And, I mean, we're talking about, you know, how fussy are we? Where you can make, well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to go fast, but I got 8 blades there. They'll probably take me 20 or 30 minutes. So that's $10 or $12, $10 for the regular one. So it's $80 or $100, $100 or $200 an hour. I think most people would be pretty happy with that. Yeah, the yellow felt belts, just treat them like a regular leather belt. Leather and felt belts are for stropping. You can use them for either with compound or diamond emulsion. So this is the Big Red. It's from Edge Pro. It's the machine. Oh, I forgot my little brush. Edge Pro, some real nice guys out of Iowa. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of the adhesive solution on. There we go. And then I'm just toggling the power switch on and off. And what you do is you spread out a nice thin layer of the adhesive. And then while it's spinning, and then you give it some of that. This is the grit. So basically we're making a abrasive surface. And then this plate, then you press the abrasive, embed it into the plate. And you want a nice clean, I put too much on, I always do. Okay, and then once you got that on, put the lid back on, spin her up. I keep an old scrappy blade. I keep an old scrappy blade. And that just knocks any of the loose material off. Now we have a charged surface. So normally so you clean it, you apply the new grit, and you can get, I believe, 10 blades out of it, 10 surfaces. That's what you're looking for. And then the laser, you want it right about there, so that you're going there's a front rail and a back rail, well, actually a front rail and a back rail, and then right dead in the center, you want dead center on the wheel. So I've got the red line set to the front. And then when it's done, you're done. Each thing, if we're talking about the stropping and the wheels and the things, everything's kind of got a same purpose, but they operate a little different. So a leather belt and a yellow wheel will work to do the same thing in a similar way, but they will feel slightly different. So I'll say that again. The leather belt and the felt belt both do the same thing, they just feel different. And that's why you'll see me swap them back and forth on my final step. It's because I like to keep, I just flip back and forth so I can keep fresh. And I keep a couple spare leather belts that I've primed and charged. See, leather belts will stretch over time, so you don't want to keep them on the machine, usually. But both, so they're slightly different, but they both do the same thing. And when you talk about wheels have such a point of contact that's so much more forceful that they remove the burr, but they also buff and polish, and they remove the tooth, any bitiness. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. They're all just part of the process. Nice. Not sure if the camera will pick it up. I'll try. That's before. Little cutter blades don't take much. It's the combs. and there's the after. And that's what you're looking for, is that nice, clean, uniform scratch pattern. Hey, JC, welcome. Just hanging out. I'm just doing a little clipper blade sharpening, and we're just talking about stuff. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Waiting to see how much they blow stuff up here. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of Hawaii, but New Year's, they go off. And last year we had a big problem that somebody's house caught on fire or blew up. So they're supposed to really crack down on it this year, which means we could have more than ever. Usually the problem is aerial fireworks. And they get shipped in. I don't know, somehow they just end up here. Nice. That's a great question, Don. Yeah, I did receive training multiple times, and it's an interesting topic because I learned how to do knives on my own. Well, no, it's not true. It wasn't on my own. I was in a forum of guys with the Wicked Edge sharpener, and they're some of the best sharpeners around that you'll never hear about, studying the science and the geometry, and so I learned from them in a public forum. But the stuff that you need to know to be able to sharpen hair scissors and grooming shears, hair shears, grooming shears, is not stuff that you can, it's very subtle, I guess would be the way I would describe it. So I could get something crazy sharp, and when I went to my first sharpening convention, I got to meet all these educators, trainers, professionals, master sharpeners who had been to multiple trainers themselves. And that's where you really start to learn and realize that you can't just figure this out. You got a $500 to $1,000 pair of hair scissors. You can't just be playing around. And even when you know what you're doing, they can be so fussy that you know, hair scissors and stylists are very particular about how it feels and especially how it cuts. They're kind of like a race car driver, and you are tuning their car So you may know how to do the alignment on a car, and you may know what brakes are, and you know how to change the brakes, but they are precisely want the car to handle a certain way, just like a race car driver. And that tuning knowledge you can only get really from one-on-one hands training with somebody else, in my opinion, you know. And clipper blades are a whole nother thing altogether too. Even I don't give them as much credit as they deserve, for the reasons I mentioned before, that I just don't enjoy. You guys right now are about the only thing making this process enjoyable for me. So after you clean them, or after you sharpen them, and then what I do is I knock all the loose material off, and everybody's got their own methods here, but this is what I'm doing. So what you got to do is, now there's grit on there. We've used the grit to sharpen them, but now there's grit. Here's what the grit looks like on the blade. It's gritty. And then you'll take and I will sweep it off. And then you'll do a cleaning step. And then you'll do I do a demag step. You got to keep all the little parts so you don't lose all the little parts. For training in Europe, Don, I don't know any direct trainers that are in Europe. The French guy, he's not in Europe anymore, though. He's down in a different island. Jean-Paul was doing, I think he's not branched into, but he's now offering his expertise in clipper blades. Be nice if you guys could actually see me, maybe. There we go. Should be better. Yep, just cleaning them up. So I guess while I'm here, I got everybody here, I'll tell you guys, I got some exciting news. That's not supposed to be happening. There we go. Sorry. I'm messing up my shop floor. So I got my kid back from college for another few days, and while he's here, we are finally going to get the dust extraction system back into my shop, because I think it's important, and also it's important to be able to show people stuff beyond just opening a box and pretending like you know what you're doing with something you've never seen before. We had a full dust extraction system in our old place, and then we had to move to the new place, and I haven't just cut a hole in the wall. Basically is what it comes down to. I need to cut a hole in the wall and run the piping, and it's a two-guy job, and I've got a boy, so I've got a young man now. So I like to blast them off. Some guys will run them in a can of paint thinner or lacquer thinner, different methods like that. And what this does is you can actually see that it will remove, it's like a power wash. Probably should have a glove on. Hey, look at that. Safety glove. Available at currycustomcutlery.com. Yeah, we got the whole new product line of safety gear. Oh yeah, that's nice. And that's been going well. We got the new shop lights. I've got a new angle guide. Sorry, not angle guide. A digital angle measuring device, mini size. So angle cube is what I'm trying to say. I can't seem to get the words out. So I've got a mini angle cube. Sample just came in. I got to check it out, make sure it's going to be cool. Looks cool. And one of the big things that's been in the news lately has been these weird angle guides from China companies, and they added a cutout to it that looks suspiciously like the cutout from my angle guide, and then claimed that they designed it themselves. And well, they still got a giant chunk of metal. I won't call it anything else. So what we did is with patent pending in place, is we've designed a whole brand new angle guide for the Vivor, and I've got the prototypes right over there on the bench. And I can guarantee you it will be the most slimline, easy to install, adjustable to and from. The width from the belt, I know that's been a big issue for some people, is how close the actual angle guide gets to the belt. That's now adjustable. And the main thing is, again, is it's slimline and it's almost invisible. Super easy to install. Big shout out to Bill. He's a guy in one of our belt sharpening groups on Facebook. And his engineering, my repair background, and the engineering between us allowed us to. I took his suggestions, and we now have a product. I should have a prototype for it here in the next day or two. Which is pretty exciting. At the end of the day, nothing's changed. Our mission hasn't changed. The goal hasn't changed. To provide high quality, well-functioning sharpening equipment at the best prices that we can. And I'm not the only guy doing that, but that's the whole overall purpose of it. Hey there. How's it going? Hey guys.
Do you shop with knives, huh?
Oh yeah.
Like butcher knives?
Any kind.
I get two.
Okay. So lay them out right there for me.
Okay.
Yay. How are you guys?
Good.
Do a little customer service here.
wanted to ask you. You know that aluminum scabbage that butcher put in? Does it make the knife dull?
What is it?
This scabbage stuff, the aluminum scabbage like this. Does it make the knife dull too?
I've never seen that before in my whole life. Oh, that's the butcher one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, because on Google, they said the plastic is better than.
Could be. Okay. Where you butchering at?
Full and front in Lahaina.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've done a lot for the Safeway guys,
Oh.
and I'm an av.
How long does my last shot?
I can't say because the first thing you're gonna do is probably go put them on a steel. You got a ceramic or a diamond or a?
I did this one and I gave it a ceramic.
Ceramic's way better. Because all you have to do is just redo the, like think of it like the roof of your house. You're just going to sharpen, you're just going to run a couple of lines smooth down the roof. Just try that. And then you can go longer. Once you start really doing this, the angles start to go wider, and then it won't stay sharp. It won't get sharp again. Give me 1 second here. Let me grind off the damage. There we go. Now you got the new angle on there. Lowering the angle will also help it stay sharp a little longer because we decrease the angle to improve the cutting performance. And then we'll just put the tip back on. The reason why you see me sharpening so much is because the bevels are all kapakai, they're all over. There we go. What I would do it, well, I mean, if you're using them every day on your job, right? So the main thing I'm doing for you right now is I'm taking all those weird angles and I'm bringing them all down low, straight and low, and then you can just go for a long time, and then when you come back, I'll be at the very same exact angle again. Yeah, of course, man.
I was looking for one thing later. Was that one night, the old invoice?
Yeah, we were there, and then we got removed over a year and a half ago now.
Oh, so you guys were there before.
We were right on that corner, big Katadon.
Yeah. Oh, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, but then the air conditioner died, and we had to relocate. So right there. should have the exact same edge on them, but you can feel when you pull, like pull this way, go on your thumb and drag, just lightly. Yeah, yeah. So it's got a nice snag. It's actually biting in, but it's shaving sharp. So you can feel it. So there's this fine line. It's like remember the Goldilocks, not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
So you get to the spot where it's not polished, so it'll still cut the protein good, but it's shaving sharp. So there you go. Just use that, but only after it gets dull, because it'll never be quite that sharp again. The thing that makes it quite that sharp is the final stropping step, and you don't strop because then you get contaminants in your product. So, anyways, that'll keep you going for a while, and that'll keep you going for months and months.
Okay.
As long as you're gentle.
Get yours go. Yeah.
Be gentle.
So no need to use this anymore.
I would not.
That is auto.
Yeah. We can talk about that later, but there's ways you could use it, but more easier just to bring it to me and I charge you $8 or $9. And, yeah. So $9 for the big guys, and it'll be $18 off. Yeah, man.
I know, I go past one day over there.
Yeah, and then now that's why it's a hot yoga studio, because the air conditioner died.
Oh.
Right? We worked really hard to set up that place. And then when the air conditioner died, I was like, come on, guys. And we were subleasing from another tenant there. The Porno marijuana guys. So the mainland marijuana guys that you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't got a problem with the herb, but those guys were no good. Any mainland company that names their business Pono. You know, Pono. Yes, the least Pono guys I know. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep,
I know, I was like, wow, where I gonna find this? And then I pick up my phone and I'm like, hey, I think this is the place.
No, and I know it's hard for you, but the butcher guys especially because you use them so much that you got to keep sharpening them all the time.
Yeah.
But you'll find, like one time with me to bring the angles down, and then it's easy for you. I'll show you one more thing too. Like I've got a ceramic rod here. Here's a practice knife here. So what I do, some guys go, how do you sharpen? When you go?
I go like this.
Yep, that's a good way.
Okay.
I go flat, but it's the same idea. And then if you go too low, you'll feel it slide.
Yeah.
And then as you come up, you'll feel it stick.
Yeah.
That's the angle.
Okay.
So you start low and it's skidding across the ice. And then at a certain point it'll come up and it'll go. That's your angle, and then you just hold that angle, go down twice, flip it over, come back the other way, twice. And then what the problem is that's actually pretty low. Here's how you can think about it. Straight up and down is 90 degrees. You cut that in half, that's 45 degrees. Cut that in half, you're at 22 degrees. Go lower than that.
Okay.
And so it's down right about there. Because once you get up into the 20, 22, 23, 24, it's not going to stay sharp as long, and it's not going to feel as sharp either. So if you can keep it down low, just do a couple swipes. But you want to feel it dig in, and I'm going into the blade. Just like that. Or if you're going up and down, then you just go straight down, straight down. That's actually good to rest it on the side of the thing.
Yeah.
And then
Very nice.
something like that. That's why I like to go down, because it's easier for me to,
Yeah.
but going straight up and down is good too. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to get out to about here, because now you're at 45 degrees. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then that's not, how easy would it be to do that? You're just going down the thing, but all of a sudden you're at over double the height you should be at. You should be up in here. So, roger that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you. Happy
Are
holidays.
these done? Then I may be back. Cause I gotta wait for my new scabbard coming. The plastic one. It'll be
Okay.
like 1 month. Coming.
I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
So the shop is open. You can drop off, and we'll do drop off and pick up. But if you need same-day service, I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Knock them out, hand them back to you.
Okay, cause I get.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you. My name is Scott.
Scott?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Freedom on my end. That's all. Bonding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Let me catch up on the chat here, guys. Dennis, I have a training program for knife sharpening online. It's not online. It's a digital course with 4K videos and downloadable content. And I spent a couple years trying to make it just so that I could teach somebody from the very beginnings, the theory, the safety, the concepts, the machines, the techniques, bam, 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 bam. And at the end of it, in theory, with some practice of your own, you should be able to go out and start working at a farmer's market and, running a business. And that's a $500 training course. I do have sales throughout the year, so it can be down to 10% off of that, so about $450. The other thing with the training course is it gets you 10% off all your supplies for the next year as well. So I'm not a big sales pitch guy, you guys, but I am in business, so the business didn't come first. That's the main thing. I'm gonna rant a little on the side here. Side rants. Everything I've done from the heart, and I've always tried to teach and show things that weren't out there, because when I started, that knowledge wasn't out there. I didn't start my YouTube channel to sell products. I didn't start my YouTube channel to pretend to be good at something so I could get people to follow me. It's kind of gross, actually. I mean, I get people want to show how good they are or what they're doing, but when they present themselves with a high quality video and a fancy trademark in their logo, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to, it's basically the Pied Piper leading people astray, and it's kind of annoying. I moderate on several large forums on Facebook mostly, and the whole point of me getting involved there was so that I could be active and involved with a community that I call my own safe space. Not that I need a safe space, but you know what I mean. And when people come in and they bully other people around or try to flim-flam them, and it happens once in a while, not for the most part, but it's really ticks me off. Every once in a while we'll get a guy that will come into one of the forums and say, hey, you don't know what you're doing. Not me, but like somebody else. And somebody else is just sharing their sharpening progress, what they're doing. It's just grinding metal, It's not like there's an absolute right and wrong way that everything's got to be done. What I try to share, to focus on the positive here, is what I try to share is the best ways that I've found, and I share my experience, and I share that experience after having some experience. Y'all dig? So, anyways, rant over. Yeah, let's stop for a second. Let me. You know what, guys? I gotta finish. Let me finish this order of. Let me put these clipper blades back together. Then we can go from there. Still doing clipper blades. Love them. Yeah, the KMFs, monstrosities. Portland Curry, yes sir. Guy sounds like he might be related to me. So we've got all kinds of new stuff coming up, and it's all to move all of us forward. Like my friend Dennis Brooks says, he's a great educator and sharpener, second or third generation at this point. He says, rising tide lifts all boats. And I love that. And I know it's hard when you're on an area. I actually have guys that have now at this point here on Maui have watched my YouTube videos, have bought products from me here in the store. We've become friends, and now they've started their own sharpening side hustle. Don't like that word, but it is applies when it's the correct word for the description. And they're working out of their carport. And they are making YouTube videos. But their YouTube videos are more just to advertise the fact that they're doing it, not that they're an expert at how to do it. I think that's a distinction that's worth having. So what I'm doing here, for those that can't quite see, is you take the cutter and the comb, and you set them on top of each other. I put the oil on them. Then you place the spring on it, get it in approximately the right position, then you pinch it together, flip it over, put the first screw in. There's guys that are much faster at this than me. There's also jigs that help do this for do it. I got my second screw in, but you don't screw them down all the way. Then you hold them up to the light. You get your offset correct, because you don't want the cutter to come over the comb, because then it could bite the animal or you. Remember, it's moving teeth. It's teeth that are moving back and forth. So the cutter has to be back behind the comb just a little bit. Everything's lubed and sharpened and cleaned. Then I've got my demag station. I got to relocate it and install it, and then I'll demag everything too. Some guys will do the demag before they put them together. That's fine. Most guys don't use the brake cleaner either, but I don't do them often enough, and I find that the brake cleaner method is very quick and efficient. Let me reach out. I've got four down and 4 to go, and I got another tray full of them too. Don Warner, anything you would do differently if you were to start over and set up a new sharpening business today? I would probably not. I can tell you the progress. I can tell you the steps I took that worked for me. And it's kind of that same mentality that I preach. I'll tell you a story. I had a friend that wanted to start a business. I helped him. In that I helped him do his business plan. He was getting bank financing. They mortgaged their house. I did the physical research. I went out to the world and I looked at locations for that type of business when I took a trip to Vegas and different places on the mainland. And what I found was that my gut instinct was telling me that there wasn't really any money in this business. It wasn't a profitable business. And when I told him that, it kind of severed our friendship. And I was doing it with the hopes of saving him from, you know, losing his home and stuff like that. The business, it was fun, and he was very popular for a while, but it ended up not being a viable business, and it didn't last. When I started the Sharpening, and there's a side story about my wife and I, but at first it was just for the hobby, for the love of it, and like everything else I've ever fallen in love with, once I get into it, you can't pry me out of it. I was eating, sleeping, and I still am to this day. I eat, sleep, breathe Sharpening, and then I wake up and I do plan and build Sharpening every day, every single day, answering customers' questions, checking on products, coming up with new things to offer people that are needed, etc., etc. But when I was starting out, first I learned how to sharpen, and I got really confident in my skills. And it was with the Wicked Edge, actually, back then. And then I took all those skills and I applied them to learning how to use a 1x30 machine. And those videos are out there because there was no videos at that time. So I created those videos to help other people that were trying to shine a light into the darkness and find their way forward. And I remember clearly asking somebody like, hey, can you actually make an edge on a belt that'll split a hair? And the answer I got back is, we don't know. And I know there's people out there that were doing it way before me, but the knowledge wasn't out there. And I didn't know if you could do it or not. And I looked. And so I took all the knowledge I had about angles, and, you know, so the stropping step is 2 degrees lower because you don't want to roll the edge. And a lot of that stuff came from the Wicked Edge, but I applied it to belt sharpening, and I was able to split a hair on a belt. And it was a 14-step process with 3 stropping steps. And and now we're down to 3 steps, and I can do the same thing with 3 steps. So over time, the process has been optimized. At a certain point, I realized that I could make a living doing this, and I discovered that there were people out there making a living doing it, not doing hair scissors, grooming scissors, or clipper blades, just knife sharpening. And I met a few of them, and they helped mentor me and help me along. What I had was the first machine that I bought paid for the second machine, and the second machine paid for the third machine. And so I never felt like I was extending myself beyond where the business was pulling me or where the direction the business was going. And then I went to the farmer's market. And the farmer's market, I had a tent. So I bought a tent. I had the business pay for the tent. And then it rained on me. But the first few farmer's markets showed me that you could make $500 or $600 in a day at a farmer's market, or more. But that's what I was making. And I showed that to my wife, and I came home crying. I was pretty upset, honestly, because the rain came down, and the rain came in sideways, and it got on my bench grinder, and we know what rain does to bearings and wheels and motors, and I was like, this is not cool. I said, honey, I need a van. And halfway shockingly, she said, yes, you do. And so I got a van, but I already had a plan. I already had established the equipment. I had established the business, the market. I had established the clientele. I had experience doing field service work, so I knew the drill about getting in a vehicle, driving to a location, fixing something, and planning out a route. I had experience with a lot of that, and a lot of guys don't. So you have to take it slow. But the farmer's market was my transitional. So I had the van. Everything was safe inside a van. And I didn't have to worry about the rain. And I set up the coolest little van. I'm still stoked. You know, I had to actually tear it down recently because I'm not using it anymore. But the van was a cool thing. Jokingly, it's kind of like a lightsaber with the Jedi because you got to build it yourself. Nobody can really tell. You can research it and do inverters or generators. I went with 2 golf cart batteries and a 3,000 watt generator and 1 voltage switcher so that when the vehicle's off, it won't drain my car battery. And that method worked for me for 4 years, and the whole system cost me under $500. So you could do a more expensive system, but you don't need to. You know, the one of the things I hear a lot, doesn't super bug me, but everyone's got their way they do stuff. The whole buy once, cry once thing. Hey there.
Mr. Cliff, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, hanging in there.
You don't mind being on camera? Say hi to my friends.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes. What do we got?
Oh, just the usual kitchen sort of things.
Okay. Perfect. Get ready for New Year's?
I'm ready for a new year.
Yeah.
Ready for New Year's? Most of the kids on our block on the ground, and my son and grandkids are going to be somewhere else, so we bought a couple of firecrackers just to say we did.
There you go.
We'll go bang bang and then probably go to sleep at 10:30.
I don't get excited by the noise, the smoke. I mean, living in Markwell for 20 years, I've had my fair share of explosions. We moved up to Pula, of course, and it's a lot quieter up there.
Where are you feeling?
Lower Pula, right behind only the Why Not White Pula Chapel.
Yep.
Beautiful little neighborhood right there. Super chill.
A lot of cute neighborhoods up there.
Super chill.
My son's living up to the bottom of Cullah Hollow Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the place, well, it was funny, the place was nothing much, it was just basement. But the house, the landlord and landlady almost never came, so I didn't meet them for years. Then when we bought our house, we couldn't move in for a month, and they said, you can stay in our house. And it turned out to be just spectacular.
Oh, well, yeah, most places are up there. I mean, there's some exceptionally good quality houses up there.
This was in bad shape, they hadn't been around for a long time, they hadn't taken care of it. 2 octagons on either side, living room in the center, lower area in the kitchen with a big leather couch, kitchen stove.
Yeah. Did they have the view too? Yeah.
Everything down there. South side and the north side door.
These are pretty dull. When was the last time we saw these? Okay. Serrations still look good. We did a full serration on these last time. I think they look good. I'm just gonna play the violin with them there.
Well, you know, just having to get the house out with my son.
He loves your knives.
Well, he beats them up.
Oh.
Service, so you keep him really careful, but when he does, it's work really fast. It gets too fast.
Yeah. Well, this is a cleaver, but this is a veggie cleaver. That's a little thin guy.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, and they have stainless ones and then they have ones like that. They're not expensive. They stand up pretty well to reasonable heat.
Right. Well, everything else going good? I'm on a live stream right now. I was doing something I didn't really want to do, so I thought I'd invite a bunch of friends over. So I announced on the YouTube, hey, so we're taking things apart, putting them together, and they were just asking me about the farmer's market, how I got started, and they're asking what I would do different if I was to do it over again. And, you know, I was telling them I wouldn't really do much different because I felt like I did it pretty good the right way. I had the equipment pay for itself as I progressed. And then it was just a natural progression of growth with me providing the push. Nothing will happen unless you're doing you're the driving engine of your business.
I thought the upcountry market seemed worked out pretty well.
The upcountry market was where I got my reputation. It's where I got my customer base.
Yep. Well, everybody knew you.
And some of that is being you do good quality work, but you also give good quality service.
Yep. You also had a lot of interesting people right around you. You know, you had my son doing the jewelry, you had the chicken guys, you had the Mamaki tea guy.
Well, that speaks to the actual market itself, which is the decision you make about which market you're going to go to. Yep. Some guys go to a market on the mainland, and it's a dead dog. I mean, there's nobody there.
Yep.
And some markets are thriving hotspots of community, and they're always going to be popular.
I think one of Jamie's big mistakes in terms of business and marketing was getting deals this small up.
There's a good rule. Don't piss off Dad.
Yeah. You know, a deal's easy to piss off.
The guy that's running the farmer's market has got a lot of stress on his shoulders.
Yep.
He's got a lot of responsibility.
Well, it's all COVID thing. You know, when COVID hit, Jamie designed the system for pre-ordering, coming through, standing in line, so when people would bag their stuff and just hand it to them. That's all cool, and a lot of markets did it. They didn't want to. Jamie pushed them too hard.
Yeah, he don't like being pushed at all.
He doesn't like anybody saying anything.
No, and I respect that as well.
It's his market.
But he's got all the responsibility. There was one morning at the market where I was late, and he said, "Don't move, I'm coming up, and I'll let you in." My spot was 15 feet away.
Yep.
And I had all the vendors around me said, "We will help you get into that spot." And they held traffic, and they moved the thing, and then they said, "Come, come, come." And so like a dummy, I moved 15 feet forward and backed into my little spot. And he about kicked me out of the market because it was his liability if I would have hit somebody.
Yeah.
And he was pissed. And I recognized right then that I had made a mistake. I was in an awkward situation where you got 10 people that you know that you work with every week, and they're all saying, "No, we got you, come on in."
Yep.
And I just backed into the spot. And he had given me specific instructions.
Yep.
And I did not follow those instructions. And I said, "You have every right to yell at me."
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, let me, so I didn't redo the serration, but I did the sharpening on it. And, so you don't have to redo the serrations every time.
Those knives are funny.
Yeah. Hopefully that showed up on the camera. So, that's without having to hit them on the diamond wheel, which I'm always showing people about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the cleaver. It's going to be $56.
I still don't have a good way to do my violin knives here. Back east I do, but just haven't set it up here.
Oh, the little reed? Yeah.
Yeah, they're fussy. I always do them by hand. I don't do them in jigs, and you know, it's always kind of screwy. You know, you get it a little bit wrong and it's not sharp, or you get it a little bit too far and you double mold.
Hand sharpening, that is, the guys that do hand sharpening swear by it.
Yep.
But the truth is it's more of an art than a science.
I would, for my chisels, I'm happier to do it with a jig, so they always come out the same.
I have some new equipment I haven't even got set up yet for doing chisel jigs and for other planer blades and stuff like that. And we'll be doing those soon. So Yeah. I've also got a little machine right here. I've got a project here.
I gotta admit, a lot of what I do is just a reversible sanding motor, like the one you got there on the right with a set of buffing wheels.
Yep.
I have 9-inch plates and I have 600 grit sandpaper, wet or dry.
Yep.
And as long as I'm careful not to burn.
That's it. And
For
at the
that
speed.
touch up on really small knives, it's very easy.
You know, something for you to consider too is they have the small jeweler motors for little mini buffers, which is what this little thing is. There's a little mini buffer. And you can just go out on Amazon and say, look for mini buffer. And they're quite good. They're powerful and quiet. Or you can get a 1750 RPM, which is half speed, and so it doesn't nearly cook them as bad.
Yeah, that's what mine is at home.
Okay.
I don't remember where I got it, but I just lucked into a 1750 motor double shaft and reversible.
Once you start using, for me, my opinion, right, is once I started using 1750, I'm like, why was I ever using a 3450 RPM? It's going 45 miles an hour.
I started slow. I had a big water sharpening wheel with a big geared down setup to run it. So
Ooh.
I was used to sharpening very slow. So I knew I didn't want to go faster than the 1800 RPM.
You know, that's a sweet spot. Anything under 2,000, these machines all run just under 2,000 RPMs.
Can I look at that little buffer of yours?
Oh yeah, come on back.
Yeah.
That can slide open. So that is, it's actually not in a buffer configuration at the moment. It is,
Teeny.
yeah, so that is, you can go out on Amazon, you'll see that exact same unit. And you can even turn it on if it'll click on.
What I don't know about is these tiny little belts that you use all the
Oh
time.
no, that's why that one's not being shown in public yet. Is because I'm gonna take that base and then try to create a small sharpening solution for people. Luckily, nobody's here listening to it.
Well, I would be interested in the violin knife situation because
Yep.
I just don't have something.
Well,
good.
you know what they do? They do make a product out of the box right now, which is the Work Sharp by Ken Onion, and they have the belt grinder attachment, BGA, and it runs a 1x18-inch belt. So basically, this is 1x30, but it's 1 inch wide, which is my ideal width, and you can variable speed it. It's a little kind of a little toy machine. No offense to the guys running Work Sharps, but it is. It's compact, it's portable, but it's got a little bit of a small motor. I think this little motor here. So I've ran one of these bolted onto the wall in my van with buffing wheels and Scotch-Brite wheels, never burned out, never broke down, and they're pretty good about that.
I'm not sure. It seems to me with fine enough belts, this would be really cute for the violin knives. You know, some of them are rounded both sides. Some of them are Japanese. You know, flat one side, rounded the other side.
Yeah. Single bevel kind of thing. And
Yep. A lot of times on the ground side, I'll just take a Dremel and I'll put a couple of thou of relief in it right almost up to the edge, because then if I'm hand sharpening,
Right.
it's only a second. You know, and as the relief gets bigger and bigger, as the flat gets bigger and bigger, I just.
But you're not having to grind the giant flat every time. That makes
No, yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So we have the Trizac belts for these machines, and the Trizac belts, which are the structured abrasive that have got the uniform scratch pattern, they go all the way up to 4,000 grit. We have the highest grit Trizac belt I think out there. We might be the only guy that's got them at this point.
That's cool.
Still, it is fun. That's what I was kind of telling the guys here, is that this wasn't this has always been about trying to move us into directions that we didn't have available to us before. And we found the best belts that we could find, which were the Cubitron belts. That's for hard use. That's for damage removal. That's for changing the angles and the bevels.
What grit is that?
Well, that's a 120 grit.
Yeah.
And that's a medium 120 grip, but that'll run. I can do up to about 100 knives with that one belt.
And this has got to be coarser. Than that.
That is probably just the aluminum oxide that came with the machine. Aluminum oxide belts are the cheapest ones, and they're typically for woodworking only.
And what the heck is this?
That is this Trizact structured abrasive.
Jeez, it doesn't feel like anything.
It doesn't. And what that does, though, is it doesn't remove large amounts of material, but it leaves a uniform scratch pattern, which really, so it's really good for the refining steps. So first step removes the damage, changes the angles. The second step will refine and leave a uniform scratch pattern. You can take that scratch pattern all the way up to 4,000 grit if you wanted to.
That's interesting. Because
Depending how many steps and how much time you got.
if you think about violin makers' tools, meaning, chisels, gouges, and the knives,
Right.
it's all fine work. You never, unless you do something really dumb,
Yep.
you never damage an edge
Nope.
so that you can even see it. Any chips, foldovers, anything like that, it's almost microscopic.
There was
So you're just always doing touch-ups.
There was a fine woodworker, world famous woodworker at the downtown, not farmers market, the downtown swap meet. And I came over and introduced myself. Say, hey, I used to be a wood carver, and if you ever need your tools tuned up, let me know. And he says, I don't trust most guys with my tools. He goes, but I've got this one and I can't do it. And it was the tiniest little gouge with a weird curve over the top. I took it back and I took it onto the Trizacts and put a convex mirror polished edge on there that would pop a hair in half, and and this tiny little thing, and I handed it back to him, and he said, who are you? And he came back, he went back to his shop, and he brought me all these tools. He said, I've had all these for years, and I haven't been able to sharpen them.
That's funny.
And I became his guy. But that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And that was a fun time, because it's fun to do that. Hey, I got to get these guys grinding. I got to get I got to do these other clipper blades before the angry groomer lady shows up. And
Yeah, and I gotta get on the road and do all the things I'm supposed to be doing, as opposed to learning interesting things.
really good to see you.
Hey, catch you later.
Okay, man. If you need, how long are you back now?
Oh, we're here till end of April.
Okay.
Just got back.
I'm here at the shop Tuesdays and Thursdays. So stop on down anytime you want to shoot the thing and you want to come and check out my progress on stuff, you're more than welcome.
I should take a pop at that because I've never heard of it.
If you text message me, I'll send you the links to them.
Okay, cool.
Right from Amazon.
Yep.
And I'll send you right over there,
I don't
and
have much room in the car
you can
anyway.
check them out.
Well, the important thing about coming back, who has good lunches right around here?
Ooh, the plate lunch guys, the barbecue place right in the Sack and Save.
Yeah.
I keep on wanting to call it General. We just ate at General's Korean barbecue last night, but it's the Chinese place right there. But they do all the different plate lunches: the shoyu chicken, the teriyaki.
Maybe I'll check them out.
They do a nice. They're Korean guys.
See, I never come up here anymore. Jamie used to have, his commercial kitchen was like 2 blocks from here. So
Right.
back in the day, I was here all the time. Now, I'm never here.
I know we're kind of up in the middle of nowhere up here, but it's only hard to find us the first time.
Yep.
All right, sir.
Hey, catch you later. Thank
All right.
you much for this stuff.
You're very welcome, boss.
Time to go wear them out.
You do that.
I probably will. See if I can keep Jamie from touching them this time.
Well, good luck with that too.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go. See, that brake cleaner works really good for that. All right. Okay. All right, bud. So I put the glue, what it is it's purified lard oil or synthetic. I always hated the idea of lard oil, but it actually doesn't smell, which is cool. Okay, less this time. Less is more. Hopefully you guys don't mind the random customers and weird interruptions. I was kind of thinking it might be cool. Kind of reminds me of when we were doing the farmers market videos, you know, and you never know who was going to stop in the shop. There we go. Nice. We'll just let that embed in. And I'll check the chat here. I'll crack open the new angle guide. We'll look at it together right now. Don, thanks for the question about the sharpening your business setup. Hopefully there was some backstory there amongst all my ramblings that was worth it. Basically, it was a step-by-step progression, and it still is. We went from the farmer's market, and I only did the farmer's market once I was confident I could make a very good first impression. And from the farmer's market, we went to the van. From the van, I built out a full mobile route that I could have continued with. And I've told the story before, but the truth is that I built a young man's game. I didn't want to be a mobile sharpener. I loved being mobile, but I've been a mobile service repairman for so many years, I didn't want to do it anymore. The love of the road was gone. And when the option came up for me to move to a brick and mortar, the other two sharpeners that were in my area dropped out of the race about the same time, and that left a vacuum where I realized that I could just step back and set up a brick and mortar and have everybody on the island come to me. And that was a really great step. I've enjoyed owning a shop more than I can tell you. So I'm just showing the rust on that blade. And there's hopefully that'll show up on the camera if it'll focus or not. And since that one was so rusty, I'll give it an extra couple. There we go. Okay, guys, let's see what we got here. Jay asking me a question. Thank you, Jay. You know, the guy's telling, I get messages, emails, even letters. I had a guy that wanted to do a phone call the other day, and I honestly don't do phone calls that much just because of the time. And he said, if you can, call me. He just wanted to call me to let me know that he had started a business and was providing for his family, and he wanted to say thank you. And that, I can't tell you guys what that means. This is fun, hanging out. I mean, this is all a dream come true, you know. Having somebody be able to tell you that you help them in their life is probably the highest thing. I never thought I'd be at a position where that could be possible, and I'm grateful and touched. In a deep way. Bottom line is we're just having fun. If you can have fun and do what you do, and I mean, I just was talking to customers, and they came in the store, said hi to them, sharpened their knives, hand them back to them. We're having fun here. I've had a lot worse jobs in my life. Scrubbing swimming pools. Some of the stuff I had to do when I worked in restaurants was horrible. Yeah, the block is actually, this came from the Sturm's Edge Pro. It's just a thick foam. It's basically the same. It's just going to embed it. Maybe the foam has a little bit of give to it, but they're essentially all the same thing, right? Main thing you want to see is that nice spark pattern. Either they have the diamond wheels. The diamond wheels, we just can't seem to keep them in stock. We have a double size order on the way. Last time I ran the sale because they weren't here in time for the Thanksgiving sale, but we have the full products coming. And we're going to try and keep them in stock. The truth is they can't seem to make them as fast as we're selling them. And I could order them in larger quantities, but it's 1,000 pounds at a time as it is. But we'll get there. If you guys are really interested, I can tell you, personally, my number one focus right now is on increasing the volume of products that we have in inventory so that we don't run out. And I mean, if it takes 1 month to get a restock shipment, and sometimes a sale will take out 1 month's worth of supplies, that means I have to have 4 months. Anything that I sell, I have to have 4 months worth on the shelf at any time for where I'm at right now, to be able to make sure I don't run out by the time I get where we will be in the next 6 months. And so, over this Christmas holiday, I reorganized the whole shop again. It's still a little bit messy, but I'll walk you around. And the whole purpose of that is to be able to have room to put more stuff on the shelf so that we don't run out. Because that's the worst feeling in the world, and I know nobody likes it. And it kills me. So we're going to do everything we can to avoid that. I appreciate everybody's patience. We're still running at about a 98.5% efficiency rate. Aunt Lilia, God bless her, is still packing and shipping these things. And she's human. You know, we all miss one now and then, but on average, she's missing 15 out of 1,000. And when I say missing, that means like putting a wrong size belt in or something like that. It's hard to get any human to be more efficient than about 98.5%, 99%. And she's right there. And I can tell you she feels really bad when it happens. But okay. But she's getting it done. For the deburring, yeah, Stevie Ray, I've been doing a lot of videos, but most of them are just shorts. So I try to give the information and have a good quality information in the shortest amount of time. But we are yeah, we're going to do some different videos. I got some new long format stuff coming up. And a lot of it may be talking about new tools and techniques and supplies and stuff like that. But we're getting there. For the variable speed question, sometimes for the final stropping step, I do have it turned up a little bit. A little bit faster means it's less likely to roll. So what do we got going on here? We've got, I just rearranged this morning. I put the laser station, that's an etching station. I may be doing some laser engraving over there. I don't want it to distract from my primary business, but I'm hoping to actually do some engraving work into the products that we offer. And then here's our new, we still got like room to grow up here. I've got some secret prizes up there that we're not quite ready to show yet. Different size, new products. Here's our new safety gear, the masks, the gloves. There's the new lights. They're really cool. That's the tap, tap, tap light. That's this light right here. And it's got the double magnets in the back. So we got those. And then I've got the new lamps. These are $10. Those are $20. These are super cheap. This is our packing station. So you can see how we're actually expanding into more efficiency, and the extra packing supplies go along the top. There's our Scotch-Brite wheels. And this is all a mess right now, guys, so just ignore any mess you see. But I'm moving the diamond wheels. We're here. These are empty boxes. Don't freak out. Then we got like all the products here. And then I've cleared room for down here. What I'm thinking of we can do is I may do a garage sale. These are Scotch-Brite wheels from an old supplier that they couldn't put the damn hole in the center of the wheel. So they're slightly off. And we got diamond wheels. These are prototypes I can reveal now to the public. I was putting to have cooling fins put in my diamond wheels to keep the product cooler. And it turns out that they make a high-pitched whining noise. NASA scientists probably could have told me that, but when you plug it in and spin it up, it goes, when you touch a knife to it, it makes a really obnoxious noise. So those are maybe half price kind of things. They work great. They just make a weird noise. 2x72 products were all fully stocked. And this is what I've been working on, the 2x48s. We've got I think I've actually got the shipment to unload today, but we've got most everything in stock. Like every single item. And then what we're doing is we're overstocking. And so we're starting to double stock up by the 1,000 so we can have all these products available all the time. And these need labeled. That's actually my next project of the day, because these are the shipments that just came in, and that's 5,000 belts that I've got to unbox, unpack. We took the front of the shop and we moved the front of the shop forward 3 feet to give us more room here in the back. But you don't even notice it up here. So I just did this the last few days. Here's everyone's orders getting ready to go out today. This is from Aunt Lilia from yesterday. She actually messaged me and says, "Oh, I stayed 2 hours extra and I didn't notice." I just had to laugh. She really gets into packing these boxes for you guys, for everybody. And so it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's getting there. We got one more year at this location. And so I've made the room now. Hey, everybody. So I can put another row of shelves here, 1, 2, 3, and I can go with shelves that go all the way down. So I can double the space here, and I can run shelves down there. And that will give me enough room to double what we currently have, and I have plans to have that in place later this year. In the meantime, my shop area is still doing good, and the next thing that we're going to do is going to do the dust extraction, like I said earlier today. That's my big goal, is to get the dust extraction in place while my son is here. Anyways, there's the shop tour. Simon, good to see you. Hey, buddy. Yeah, the flat rate, we do flat rate on those. We do flat rate on everything, but it won't quite fit inside a flat rate small box, which sucks. We're working on some new shipping methods too, and honestly, we just K contracting, just so you know too, we just added it to the website. I mean, I'm doing so much right now, but any order over $100 gets free shipping for domestic. Sorry, international guys. And the guy from Spain, welcome. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, the any order over $100, which a lot of the orders are over $100, especially as we start offering more products that get people all excited. And I do apologize, guys. I got to finish these clipper blades. But I'll try to keep rambling with us as we go here. The blueprints for the Epic Stropping station are, watch the video, and people have really seemed to get wound up about the dimensions on this stropping station. You know, when I made the video on how I did the stropping station, I made the stropping station on video in front of everybody, and I didn't use a tape measure. I used the machine and I held it up there and I measured how wide it was going to be, and then I cut the boards to fit the machine. I didn't measure, but I got a video on it. Yeah, wicked cuts. Go look up my stropping station video if you haven't seen it already. And I literally take and I cut some boards and I glue them together, and I just made a little platform that can hold the machine upside down. I mean, it wasn't even elegant or well thought out. I just knocked it out, moved on. And the crazy thing is it's still running. Still works perfect. It's actually one of my favorite little things I've done in a long time, and it wasn't the most complicated, technical, or anything like that. All right. I do not like the Vivor, since somebody's asking me. The truth is I had one of the very first ones, and I had it on in a farmer's market video. Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Good. What you got?
Well, just one package.
I'll trade you one package for 45 packages. Fair enough. Thank you so much. How you doing, bud? Christmas doing you okay?
I mean, it's going.
Yeah, I know. And oh, you know what? That's for lunch. No, you're gonna go take that for lunch.
I don't mind.
That's your Christmas bonus right there, boss. Got to keep it. No tag backs.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, my business depends on you, boss.
Your business, hey, your business helps me stay in business.
See, it's a win-win.
Can't complain.
Hey, we went out last night to the General Korean Barbecue. Have you been there yet?
I love that place.
Dude,
That's one of my favorite places.
I was like, I was getting a little pissed when we first walked in. Like, I gotta work? I gotta go cook my own food?
Yeah, what?
About 10 minutes in, I was like, give me some more of that Wagyu.
Yep. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, it's worth it though. That's my favorite place. Yeah.
It was packed, too.
Yeah, because if you go to Costco, you buy 2 gift cards for $79, but it's a $100 value.
She had the gift cards. My wife, we went, and then the gift cards. And so we got the premium one, so you get the good meats and all that. And
Yeah, but the Wagyu is good, but I like that cut, that honey one.
yeah. Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to say. That wasn't my favorites. The teriyaki, the marinated meats were so good.
Even the regular one, like the garlic chicken and stuff like that, the regular menu, it's got so many good stuff.
I wanted to try some of them. My wife kept slapping my hand saying, no,
Yes.
we are on the premium menu.
You know, but when you get the premium menu,
You can do whatever you want.
You get the other menu too. Yes.
It was funny because I was thinking, like, of course you got to like hurry up and eat and all that, and then
No, they don't rush you out of it at all.
and we stuffed ourselves way too much,
No, but they don't rush you. They don't rush
and
you. Oh,
the
nope.
total time was 1 hour. We
Yeah.
still had a full hour.
I mean, you know.
I think next time we go, we'll have to slow it down and enjoy.
Oh, yeah, like when me and my friend go, we want to order vegetables. So I'm like, man, I ain't coming for no. I ain't coming here to grill for vegetables. Meat.
We're talking about we got this place. I hadn't been to it before, but it's the place where they put the little fire tray, the fire pit right on the table in front of you, and you cook your food and stuff. It was packed.
Oh, I ain't come here for that.
I did not come to play. Mm-mm.
It's a good place though. Yeah.
I can see them sticking around for a while, which makes me happy.
Oh, they will. Oh no.
Yeah.
You know the locals, they love to eat.
We love. Yeah, it's like their job. There's one guy over in the corner, and like it was his job. Head down, elbows up, stir frying. He was just flipping it like it was his job.
Yes. Now it's expensive though, but the place right next to Jim Barbecue,
Yeah,
the sushi place,
that's the other one.
that's a great place.
So I do all the sharpening for the head chef Carlos.
Okay, yeah.
And when we went in there, they hooked us up. They were like, "Oh, it's our sharpener."
Hey,
No, that's another. We got a couple rock and roll places right now.
yep.
Love it.
Even the one right next to
The further
it's a PetSmart. Their ramen place is really good.
I've heard about that as well.
Hey, you gotta get the miso with the fish katsu.
Okay.
Oh man.
Fish katsu.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
Love it.
Sounds good. We live on an island, guys. There's not much to do besides talk about new food restaurants, I guess. Not that I need to eat any more food. I'm trying to bring it down, but boy, it's getting hard. Might have to go back on a keto diet or something. J Flask, scissors versus clippers, which would be learned first? I would go with scissors, hair scissors, and then
All right, you have a good day.
You too, brother. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, you too. Are you gonna be open Friday? No.
No, sir.
Okay. Tomorrow you open.
Tomorrow we're open, and then yeah, not on the first.
All right.
All right, man. Yeah, especially on the mainland, being a beautician, shear, hair scissor, sharpener is a full-time gig for some guys, and they got the route. They drive around from salon to salon. You can keep track of when you were there last, and people make a good living doing it. So I'm not going to knock it. It is a different game from knives. The knife game, you're going to restaurants. Mainland, you got guys like Cosini and some of the other Cosini, who are running the lowball service rental game. So they offer super cheap knives and super cheap sharpening prices, and they lock in their customers with their knives, their rentals. But that's also not a very attractive model. So there's room to bust into that market, I feel, if you're on the mainland, by offering a high quality sharpening service at a slightly higher price, and they get to keep their own knives. Nobody I know likes Cosini knives or their sharpening. The price is so low, it's hard to beat. For hair scissors, so we have, if you guys are interested in training for hair scissors, I've got several people that I know that are good personal friends of mine that are top educators nationwide. They go to the national sharpening conventions and they teach at all the events, depending on what part of the country you are in. And definitely training is critical. I kind of got derailed. I was talking about that earlier with you guys. But so yeah, I've got a background in electronic repair, electromechanical repair. I've been doing it my whole life. I've got a science technology background, and I'm really good with my hands, in my opinion. And I had to go take training because it is literally, and it kind of surprises me, right? Because I'm the guy that thought I could figure out how to do it on my own. But this is actually, which is kind of cool. To me, it feels like it's one of those trade crafts where you have to go do the apprentice master thing. You have to be shown. I mean, you could do a video on some of the stuff, but the pressure and the angle and the twist and the result and the how to do it doesn't translate in a video. It translates when they're holding your hand or watching you do it in person. It's that subtle, if that makes sense to anybody. And there's guys that have done, there's always other ways to do it. But I'm speaking in general terms. So my first training instructor was Ward Collins. Rest in peace, sir. He was my first instructor. He became a friend, a mentor to me, and the inspiration for me to put on the Western Sharpeners Roundup, which we're not having this year, as a moment of silence and respect for his passing. He passed earlier this year. And he was a great man, a great friend, and a really cool guy. And he had been sharpening. When I first met him, I joined one of the YouTube forums, true story. I joined the Sharpeners chat on Facebook, great group. And I said out loud, hey, are there any good YouTube videos on how to sharpen hair scissors? And you could hear the shotguns clicking in the background, and I'm halfway not exaggerating. He said, "Get out of there, kid! They're gonna shoot you. Call me." And that was right before the flamethrowers lit up, and they said, "You can't learn hair scissors on the YouTube," and they were yelling at me. They didn't know that I was already making YouTube content on knife sharpening, sharing my knowledge, and here I thought that the scissor sharpening guys would be as forthcoming. Well, it turns out that a lot of those guys do it for a living, and a lot of those guys teach for a living. And so, of course, they're not going to put out YouTube videos showing how to do what they get paid $1,000 for training how to do. And I respect that as well. But the funny joke was he literally said, "Doc, kid, get out of there. Give me a call." And when I talked to Ward, he said, "Look, I know who trained most of the trainers." And that's what I needed to hear. He was a no-nonsense, no BS, rootin' tootin', Yosemite Sam kind of guy. He did not tolerate lying, cheating, stealing, garbage, cattle rustling, chicken thieving. He was a straight guy. And if it was garbage, he would call it garbage. He didn't care whose feelings he hurt. And so he wasn't, he wasn't suitable for delicate company, let's put it that way, but but he always had your back, and he always knew what was what. You could always tell, he wasn't going to say nothing that wasn't for sure. And so when he said, "I know who trained most of these guys' trainers," and he could list them off, and he said, "I've trained with most of these guys." So my first trainer had trained with the trainers and knew the trainers' trainers. So I said I agreed to pay him $1,000, which is about average for training, for a basic training. 2 days training is a deal, honestly, $500 a day, which is what I charge for knife sharpening. And I flew to California. I got in a car and I drove all the way out to out by Bakersfield, way out in the middle of nowhere, out in the desert where Breaking Bad is. And he was at a farmer's market, and he was wearing flip-flops, kind of like me. And he had a little beach towel out on his thing, and he had a little sharpening thing. Wild man, crazy hair. And I said, his back was to me, and I said, "Ward?" And he turned around and he went, "Ta-da!" And I went, "Oh, I have made a big mistake." I have made a horrible mistake. I just flew several thousand miles to California, and here's this long-haired, crazy hippie guy wearing flip-flops, and he's got a beach towel down, and it turns out, he's one of the few sharpeners I know that's actually been to Korea. He's been to the factories. He had studied where they make the scissors, shears, whatever you want to call them, and he's literally forgot more than I'll ever learn about sharpening hair scissors. And he was the first sharpener that I had train me. And after that, I got to know the other guys, Jim O'Donnell, Dennis Brooks, Jason Pintel. These are literally legends in the sharpening business, not because of their own pumped up ego, but because of the quality of the sharpening teaching and their experience and their dedication to giving back to the sharpening community. And I'm proud to call these guys my friends today. And we've had the Western Sharpeners Roundup for 2 or 3 years in a row. And then I've been to them with other sharpening events. And I've been lucky enough to be able to be part of the team and get to give back and hang out. And so while I'm hanging out at these events and I'm teaching my knife sharpening, I'm also training. So every event, we just got back from the sharpening show in South Carolina, and Jim O'Donnell was there, and I was hanging out with Jim, and I was watching over his shoulder while he was doing grooming shears. Every time I pick up something new from these guys. Highly recommend professional training from Dennis Brooks, from Jim O'Donnell. I think Jason's retiring now. He's out in California. He might be still offering some training. He's got 40 plus years. There's a group of trusted people that you can trust to give you all the correct knowledge you need to be a professional sharpener in hair scissors, clipper blades. You got Mitch with the shop. You got the Edge Pro, and Jason and Zach Sturm out of Iowa. Hands down, top shelf guys. And then you got Cody with Fort Worth Shaver if you're down towards Texas. These guys are all running professional businesses. They're part of the industry. They're accountable. Just some guy offering a training course for $1,000 and you don't even know who he is or if he's going to teach you stuff. These guys are teaching the industry standard, correct methods to get the highest quality results, and et cetera, et cetera. So you guys get the idea. If you guys need any more information, just email me. I'm happy to give it to you. MM Sharpening, that's a bummer, dude. But maybe you can find a way. I mean, if they're offering a $3 sharpening on a $3 knife, maybe you can offer a $5 sharpening on a nicer quality knife, and people would, you know, be willing to step out of the gutter for just a little bit better. You know, that would be my hope. For sure. How many people we got hanging out? We got 22 or so. We've got, what, we did a couple hours of video. Yeah, MM, you were asking me if I like the Vivor. Sorry you guys if I stop and get, I guess we got customers and all that sort of stuff going on, but I never really did like the Vivor, and I'll tell you why, is because I mean, I like the idea of the frame, and people get all caught up in how cool that frame looks. That open frame just kicks dust everywhere. The controller is the weak point. If that controller fails, and I've had a controller fail, I had a 1x30 and a 2x36. I still have them in the junk closet that I might pull out for. I might pull them out for the garage sale thing. I've got a ton of machines that maybe they could go to somebody that would enjoy them. You know, that might be a cool thing to do. But yeah, so high price. Reversible used to be the thing when I first started making the machines, the custom 1x30s with the Penn State motor. When there was no other variable speed machine out on the market, we created this machine with the bolt-on motor, and then I added in the reverse feature. And I realized really quick that the reverse feature was going to be the thing that got me hurt. Because if you can take a machine and it can be in forward or reverse. You ever been at a stoplight and you see somebody put their car in reverse, and then they forget to take it out of reverse, and then when they get ready to go at the stoplight, they go backwards instead of forwards? That's the kind of danger that's involved with a forward reverse switch. And I found that I just don't need it. So you got a feature that could hurt you. It's more prone to error. I mean, I've done 100,000, 200,000 knives. The thing that's going to hurt me is not repetition. It's going to be something that's breaking through my muscle memory and I'm not expecting it. Or a bubble, like when you juggle and you get really good at juggling, but you still drop the ball once in a while. That drop, that bobble is going to be the thing that could potentially hurt me. And not having a machine going the direction that I expect it to be going. And so reverse switch wasn't important to me. The variable speed is nice, but you don't need that. I'm running these machines. I hardly ever touch the variable speed on the variable speed Rikon and the little buck tool, which is 130 or 140 bucks. Purrs like a little kitten. It's sharpened. I just sharpened 10 or 20 knives here today. Works every time. It's a $130 machine. I would probably line them up. The reason why I have the Rikon as my first step is because it does have that ability to crank it up a little bit. If I wanted to get a little extra speed on the first step, if I had some heavier grinding to do, but typically I don't. Typically I don't have the heavier grinding, so I don't need it. The main thing is it has dust extraction built into it, and they don't break. I started talking about that a little bit ago too, that whole buy once, cry once thing. People are buying $1,000 1x30s, you know, and saying this is the way. Well, the $1,000 1x30 is horizontal only, edge trailing only, and it's a motor turning a belt for $1,000. Okay. And then the sharpening method is edge trailing only with a clamp on a stick. And I know a lot of guys are using the clamp on the stick method. I've seen it. I mean, it's great. The Tormac, you could take a Tormac clamp and attach it on the back end of a regular 1x30 machine for $100, and you'd have the same edge trailing setup. So, you know, there's not compelling arguments for it. Affordable, reliable. There's machines out there now. There's sharpening machines out there that are $2,000 or $3,000. That's a motor turning a wheel or a motor turning a belt. Well, when that machine goes down, do you have a backup? Because I've got backups for all my machines, so I never get stopped, and that's critical. So affordable, reliable, and yeah, affordable so you can have the backup. And that's part of the game, right? Is to plan ahead. If you got a good income source, make sure you've got a backup method in case something happens to your income source. There we go. Bring you guys back up here. And this is all just part of the growth and the learning process. Hopefully some of this helps somebody. You know, we're just hanging out, and I appreciate the questions. I actually have a few more knives to sharpen too, but let's see what we got here. Woo-hoo! Right on time. Cool. Well, shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it. This might not be. Let's see what we got. Let's do it over here where you guys can't see it. Top secret. Interesting. Well, we're just gonna have to keep it a little secret. I don't want anybody from China to steal the idea before I actually get it out on my website. But that might work. So what we're doing is we're mocking up, designing, prototyping, and building our own product. We're not taking somebody else's and borrowing their design. Got one more over here. Hey, Todd. Happy New Year, man. Yeah, Bob, the orders that just left. Oh, the new angle guides here. Well, we'll see. So, it really wasn't hard. One of the everyone's got their strengths and their weaknesses, but if you look at the original angle guide, let me find one. Well, this is the so the deal is that the angle guides that started like this. The first one was called the Surge Sharp, and years and years and years ago, I cut out the little side of my Surge Sharp. That was about 8 years ago, and it worked. Originally, it was just for the thumb stud, but still the handles of kitchen knives would get in the way. And then some other people copied me, and they kind of forgot. I guess what happened is people forgot where the original idea for the design came from, is what I'm going to assume. But then I created this extended version of the angle guide. And this piece was designed so that everybody that's already bought an angle guide in the world could just buy this little piece and attach it to their existing angle guide, right? Which is super cool. So you don't have to buy a whole new angle guide. You can just buy this little upgrade piece. It's super affordable. And we're gonna have to pause right there because I got customers coming in. But that's where it started, was with offering an upgrade to the existing angle guide. Hello. Are we doing fast time or slow time?
I don't have like an hour, but I can
Okay.
wait a few minutes.
Do you want to be on camera or off camera?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
I don't like my picture taken.
I've been live for about 2 hours. So I was having so much fun doing the clipper blade sharpening that I invited some friends to come over. I won't put you on camera. Wait. Oh, there you're on camera. Just wave for the camera. That's my favorite groomer in the whole world, you guys. And she moved away.
Not my fault.
So I fired at the camera and I did a live with all the sharpeners.
My husband's fault.
So I've had 20 or 30 sharpeners hanging out with me while I did all your clipper blades.
Oh, way cool.
And so they get to ask me questions about why I hate clipper blades and why groomers are the best in the world.
You hate clipper blades, but you still do mine.
These are all, the only one that gave me a little trouble was this Foxy Roxy.
What is this?
That's hers.
Oh.
But the problem is that her case, these are curved shears, and if you put them in here, they're going to squish them flat.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to squish hers. I just sharpened them.
She probably put them in there so that they would transport.
But if I do that, what they're going to do, I tried that out. So I didn't want to do it because they have a natural curve that
Yeah,
allows
you
them
don't
to
wanna-
cut. And if I squish them, then they're going to. So I just put them there. I put a card inside of
Did she
that
pay
there.
you?
No, I haven't emailed her, texted her, or anything yet.
Okay. What's her name?
2040 60.
60 even?
Yep. We'll text her. Dude.
Has she been with you before?
I don't even know.
She works with Station. She used to be at Sheer Magic.
I don't even have her.
Sorry.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm here with Cliff, getting your
Sharpener.
shears. Have you demoed him ever, or can you demo him yet? 60 even. Yeah, Cliff.
Yeah, 60 even.
And then, he didn't put them back in the container you sent me because they're curved. And if you put them in there, they'll squish them, so he doesn't want to do that. So they're not in that, I'm bringing the case back, but they're not in that case, if that makes sense.
I got to deal with this customer, and then it's going to be lunchtime, so we should probably sign off for now. I really appreciate you guys hanging out.
I'll bring it.
I will give you the sneak peek, though. What about if the angle guide attachment was reversed,
Sure, that's fine.
so it could come onto the VVOR on the side
No, actually, keep
that
it with him.
you needed it to? What about if the mounting bracket was a simple little thing that just slid right behind the existing platen plate?
Phone number or name, yeah, just Curry, C-U-R-R-Y.
And then that's what the angle guide actually looked like.
Yeah.
So which looks better? A slimline adjustable angle guide that's almost invisible,
Okay. Thanks, girl.
or a dinosaur of mass destruction?
Calling me a dinosaur?
No, I'm not calling you a dinosaur. So this is where we're at. I just got to get it pulled together, and it'll be up on the website in the next few days. All right, you guys. If anybody stayed this late to the end of the video, you saw it. All right, you guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna sign off. Aloha, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Happy New Year. And yeah, anybody's got any questions or anything, just email me, and I'll take care of you guys. All right? All right. Happy New Year. Stay safe, everyone. Aloha. Nice.
So you had people learning with you?